Alex believed his life was perfect because Julia told him it was. She had walked into his messy, aimless life and renovated it. She curated his wardrobe, his diet, his friendships, his career ambitions. He had been a passable graphic designer. Now, thanks to her networking, he was on the partner track. His bachelor pad had been a chaotic mess. Now, their shared apartment was a masterpiece of minimalist design. Every day was a seamless, predictable glide orchestrated by her. He mistook her meticulous control for profound love. The first crack in the facade appeared on a Tuesday. Alex was looking for a spare battery in the kitchen junk drawer, the only space Julia hadn't optimized. Beneath a tangle of old keys and chargers, he found a small, leather-bound notebook. Inside, in Julia's perfect, precise script, were notes from their first date. It wasn't a diary entry. It was a script. It detailed his likely talking points, her pre-planned, spontaneous, witty replies, and even a small, calculated stumble on the sidewalk that had led to him first taking her hand. This was the first twist. The most cherished, romantic memory of his life had been a staged performance. He confronted her, his heart pounding with a strange mix of fear and embarrassment. Julia didn't miss a beat. She enveloped him in a hug, her voice a soothing balm. "Oh, my love," she whispered into his hair. "I was just so nervous. I wanted everything to be perfect. Don't you see? I did it all for you, for us." He believed her. He wanted to believe her. His unease, however, lingered. A week later, he decided to do something truly spontaneous. He bought tickets to a concert for a band he used to love, a band Julia had once dismissed as unrefined. When he surprised her with them, her perfect smile didn't falter, but her eyes went blank and cold for a fraction of a second. It was a look of pure, clinical fury, gone as quickly as it appeared. "That's thoughtful, Alex," she said, her tone perfectly even. "But I've already secured a reservation at Cordelet for us. Your boss is going to be there. It's important for your promotion." She made his own desire feel foolish and childish. That night, unable to sleep, he felt an irresistible pull to her immaculate home office. He guessed the password to her laptop on the first try, Our Future. On her desktop was a single, password-protected folder labeled Project, Eon. He found the password for that on a sticky note under her keyboard, Alex_asset_V2.0. His blood ran cold. Inside wasn't just a folder. It was a corporate database. There were files on his parents, his sister, his two closest friends. Each file detailed their psychological weaknesses, their financial vulnerabilities, and meticulously planned social scenarios to slowly erode their influence over him. This was the second twist. Her control wasn't about creating a perfect life. It was a systematic campaign to isolate him, to sever every emotional tie he had until she was his entire world. He wasn't her partner, he was her project. Shaking, he knew he had to leave. This wasn't love, it was a hostage situation. While she was at a yoga retreat she'd scheduled for herself, a wellness activity to maximize her efficiency, he packed a bag. He just needed his passport and birth certificate from the fireproof safe in the closet. He punched in the code, their anniversary, and opened it. The final, soul-crushing twist lay waiting for him. Inside, next to her own documents, was a thick binder with his name on it. It wasn't his. It was a fabrication of a life. It contained forged doctor's notes diagnosing him with intermittent explosive disorder. Printed emails cleverly faked, from him to his boss, filled with paranoid accusations. A heavily edited audio file of him yelling in frustration during a football game, now clipped and rearranged to sound like a terrifying, unprovoked tirade. The last page was a draft of a restraining order, with a heartbreakingly believable narrative written by Julia, describing her fear of his increasingly erratic and violent behavior. She hadn't just been planning their future. She had been building his cage. If he ran, she had everything she needed to destroy his reputation, his career, and his sanity. If he stayed, he would be her willing prisoner. He looked at the bag he had packed. He was already trapped. She had planned for everything, especially for this.